Guys, sorry to keep you waiting. Uh, well, in terms of the players' availability for Saturday, it's early in the week. We've got Quinteros, Lowe, Yedlin, Escona. Mabika came back today from international duty, so Mabika's okay. We just got to wait for the rest to come back on Thursday afternoon, so I can't give you an update on them. Both played in their first games, didn't play in the second game. So in terms of the players that we've got available that have been training this week, there's no Gibbs, no Breck Shea, no Victor Yajoa, no Jovin Jones, no Ian Frey. The rest of the squad have all been good. And what we've done, excuse me, what we've done since the Cincinnati game is we've done the only thing that you can do in times like this when you've not won a game in the first 4 games and you're a new team, is work you goddamn butts off. And that's what we've done every day. We came in the first day, the Monday after the Cincinnati game, so there's only one way to get better. There's only one way to improve. There's only one way for this to turn around, and that's by working every single day hard, working every single day at our movements, working every single day to our maximum, to get that consistency that we're looking for. And if I'm totally honest, if I'm evaluating the 4 games, we've probably had 15-minute periods in every game, maybe 15 to 20 minutes in some. Maybe the Chicago game was a little bit longer, of things that I really like, but the consistency is it's a 95, 96-minute game, and 15 minutes here and 15 minutes there is nowhere near good enough. So it's about piecing together now those 15 minutes, 45 minutes against LAFC, piecing them together now to get more consistency in our play, and ultimately to get more results, to get better results, to get the first win. The big feedback I've got from the team over the last 2 weeks is that the first win is going to be massively important for us, for the belief and confidence of the group. And I think when you're building a new team, I think that is massively important. So we've got an opportunity at home in front of our brilliant fans on Saturday to get the first 3 points on the table. But we know we're playing against a fantastic side. We've got a really good system, who's coming off the back probably a season like we had last year with a new coach and a new feeling. So we know it's going to be tough. But the work that we've put in over the last 2 weeks, I hope that we transfer that into the game on Saturday.
We'll start with questions first, Lauren, then Mike.
Yeah. Well, I think if you was at the MLS2 game, I want to see the things that we saw in the MLS2 game. I want to see a team play with freedom, with excitement, with enjoyment, scoring goals, attacking football. That's what I want to see against Houston. I want to get the shackles off. I want them to play with a little bit more freedom in terms of sort of like not being as nervous and tense. I think in situations like this, it's easier said than done, that because they're all so desperate to do well. They're a great bunch of guys that just want to do so well for this football club. They've gelled together so well. Now they just need to transfer that onto the pitch. The things I see in training really, really excite me. The things I see in training are really positive. Now I want them to go out there and express themselves and score goals and get assists and play with a little bit more freedom than what I've seen in the previous 4 games.
Mike?
Phil, if I can follow up on that, was that the message to your team these past because I'm sure as a player, you've been in situations like this before yourself. I get that message across to them saying, look, we haven't won a game yet.
Yeah.
But it's not over yet.
Well, we're 4 games in. We haven't won a game, and it's been disappointing. I can't hide away from the fact that I'm frustrated. We're all frustrated with what we've seen in the first 4 games because we expected better. But after the Cincinnati game, there was, and I go back to sort of like, you always go back to your grandparents, my grandfather or my father. Stop moping around. Just get on with it. Just go out there and work harder at the things that you need to work on, and just be even more brutal and ruthless with them. And that's what we've done. The Monday they came back in, we worked. The Tuesday we worked. The Wednesday we worked. The Thursday we worked. And what I would say for those first 4 or 5 days, they were quiet. They were quiet and they were focused. This week we've worked on even harder. and they're beginning to enjoy the work. They're beginning to enjoy the work because they can see what the work will give to them: more confidence, more belief, more togetherness. And they've been competing against each other, and competing against each other is one of the things that we introduced at the start of the season. But we've just ramped the work up even more because we haven't got time. We haven't got time to feel sorry for ourselves. We haven't got time to make excuses. We need to deliver. I need to deliver. The team need to deliver, and that's what we want to do against Houston.
You have maintained your composure.
Yeah.
But you have been frustrated.
Yeah.
If you let your team know that you are frustrated, this is unacceptable.
Yeah, I think when you have a new team, and this is the real positive, is that, you know, I said at the start, these are my boys, really. These are my boys. I've chosen these guys. We've gone through an exhausting process of getting the guys in with the right characters. So I'm in the trenches with them. So they know my frustrations. I know their frustrations. And the characters of these guys that we've got in this dressing room is that they just want to win the game of football. They want to win for the football club. They want to win to get the confidence and belief. They feel it. I feel it. I feel it's just nearly there. I feel as if we're just around the corner. I feel as if those 15, 20 minutes, 45 minutes of something that you can see is developing is nearly there. Now we just need to flick the switch even further. And I think that's been their frustration. And that's been my frustration, is that this is probably to be expected, a new team, new partnerships, but we want it quicker. And now we need to demand it quicker.
Any more questions? Lauren?
Yeah. Well, I thought it was a brilliant first game. You could see the excitement before the game, during the game, and after the game. You know, they all celebrated together. And bearing in mind, we had some MLS players in that starting 11. And I've got to say, building up to the game, it took a lot of management just to say, look, you're going to go and play for the MLS too. I think this is the beauty of this MLS Next Pro League, is that it's now MLS. Players can play up and down, and we can have real fluidity between both games. You had Emerson, who needed minutes. Robbie Robinson came back, played 45 really good minutes. George, Harvey, Noah all got minutes, and the goalkeeper came out and played. Should have played 45, refused to get subbed at halftime because he was having so much fun. He wanted to play 90 minutes. So this league will give us that feeling of always getting the boys 90-minute games. And the win was really important, but the way that we played, I thought, was even more important. And I was really proud of them. Darren, Fede, Ryan, and the boys did a fantastic job.
Next question, Michelle.
Hi, Phil. Zooming in today. Sorry I can't be there. I'm juggling a lot of stuff, but next week.
March Madness, is it?
March Madness ends on Sunday for me. March Madness ends on April 3rd for me, because that's when the tennis finishes.
So we'll get you back.
You get me back on Monday, full time on soccer. Okay, I have a couple of questions, if you don't mind. One is the fact that Nick Marsman was able to play in that game. Is he, what's his status for the first team? And the fact that he and Emerson and Robbie played, in that game, does that bode well for their playing this week against Houston? That's number one. And then I have another one after.
That was 3 questions.
Oh, I have even more, but I'm going to restrain myself.
Well, Nick played his first 90 minutes. He'd only trained for 4 days with the team. He's been out for 5 months. He's trained 2 days this week as well. We recovered him for 2 days. So he's going to have to get through this week and train really well this week. But you probably wasn't at the game. You was probably in Chicago or somewhere in America covering the basketball. But all you could hear was his experience at the back, his talking, his coaching, his helping of the young boys, and I thought his distribution was just out of this world. So it's brilliant to get him back in training. We're going to make a decision later in the week because we want him to get through these 4 or 5 days training. We want to really make sure that when we put him back in, he's back in 100%, and we're not going to take any risks. We're not going to take any risks with him, but I'm really pleased to have him back in the squad. Robbie, Emerson, it was important. Robbie was probably, we took the hard route with him in terms of sort of like the Cincinnati game. We just threw him out there. And I think that's a good approach with Robbie. We then said good 45 minutes for the MLS2, and he's been back in training now for 14 days. So Robbie's back 100% with us, and Emerson is going to be a slow burner. There's bits that we see that are sensational from the boy, and then there's other bits that are really naive and a little bit inexperienced. But it's the positives that we're looking at. This boy is going to be a brilliant player for this football club. I think we've got to look at the whole season with Emerson Rodriguez. He had his first real glimpse against LAFC, came on, he did really well, the boy, and he's pushing every single day, but he's just got to be patient.
Okay, thank you. Second part of my question is, you're trying to build consistency and get everybody to gel and all this stuff so quickly, like you just said. How difficult is that when you had guys missing for the international break who were not training with you, you know, like Quinteros, Lowe, Yedlin, you know, these guys that you mentioned before, Mabika, and especially in the back line, considering that now Breck Shea and Kieran Gibbs are out. How do you get that back line to be one unit when you've got players who are all over the globe, literally, and you have a couple guys injured? How much of a challenge is that?
Well, it's been funny because Chris McVeigh's been playing 1 versus 12 all week because he's been back, but it's allowed us this week to fully focus on the front half of the field. We've had every bit of our front 6, front 7 or 8, you know, training. So we've had a lot of focus on the attacking part of our game. The attack is probably the biggest part of our game that I want us to really focus on, creating more chances, playing the type of football that I want us to play. So it's been a brilliant sort of like 10 days in that respect. Damien Jairo plays tonight against Brazil. Damien plays tomorrow. Yedlin plays tomorrow. Mabika came back today from a 18-hour journey from France, I think it was. So they'll be integrated back in on Thursday or Friday even, where we'll start integrating the back 4, back 5 into the team. But it's give us a real focus the last 10 days of focusing really on the front 6 or 7. The wide players, the movements, the front players, the number 10s, to make sure that we're getting better cohesion.
Will those guys, if they're coming back Thursday or Friday, is that possible for them to then play Saturday? You think they can step right in? Yeah.
They're all back Thursday, so they should be training Friday.
Okay. Can I ask a third question, Rafa, about Houston?
Yeah, last question. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Can you just tell us, you know, what to expect from Houston? What kind of style, and how do you think your team matches up with what they bring?
Well, I mean, in their last 2 games against Vancouver and Colorado, they played against teams that played 3 at the back. So they played a distinct system. They do like to play football. They play a really good system. They've got good wide players. They've got a number 10 that's really unpredictable, and they like to keep possession of the ball. So I've been really impressed with them. Spoke to Ari about Houston. He knows a lot about them. He knows the changes that they've made compared to what they were like last year. And you know, I think what we've seen already this season is that there's going to be no easy games. There's going to be no easy games. But really the focus should be on us and not Houston. The focus should be on our own performances. The focus should be on the levels that we need to attain to, and the expectations that's required. And for me, the biggest thing, Michelle, is the transformation from what I see on a training field every day into transferring it now onto the pitch. And I think we are so close. But you know, they say the last bit is probably the hardest bit to do, and that's the transformation.